Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you're watching me from. My name is Dr. Obi Oramba Iboeze, reaching you from Nkolo Mahadum, Wisdom University. Today's date is Nkwo Market Day in the 60th month of the Igbo lunar calendar called Onwa Ifejioku. How sweet it is. The 6th month of Igbo lunar calendar is called Onwa Ifejioku. Very sweet indeed. And today's date in the foreign Roman Catholic calendar is July 8, 2024. Remember, at Nkolo Mahadum, we encourage you to use your akonuche. Use your akonuche. Don't always be influenced by all the shenanigans going on in your environment. Place your akonuche at work. Today's lecture is titled Why the Nigerian Electoral System Should Be Replaced or Brought Down. Why the Nigerian electoral system should be replaced or brought down. The Nigerian electoral system currently being used to declare winners in the electoral process should be replaced because it is flawed. It is not done the correct way. And for how long shall we continue to do things wrongly? The hope of the common man rests on the democratic practice that is in place to bring leaders in to govern them for better results for everybody. But the system we're using is flawed. It brings poor, very bad leaders because the process is flawed, and Nkolo Mahadum want it to be replaced or changed now. In many elections we have held in Nigeria, let's just start from the 2015. Do you remember, do you know that a whopping 108.8 billion was spent on the 2015 election? And you know, on that 2015 election, you can go back and see everything that happened. Plus, you know, the person they declared the winner at that time is not the person that won the election. In 2019, a total of almost 180 billion was spent to conduct the 2019 election. Then last year, in 2023, the National Assembly approved about 303.17 billion to conduct the last 2023 election. As you can see, look at how much all the money being spent in order to produce or to bring in leaders that will make changes in our environment. But what happens with the money? Even after you have budgeted and spent all this money as you claim, yes, campaigns are conducted with all the noise and everything that follows it, sharing of rice and money and others. And then, on the day of election, what happens? On the day of election, we are meant to understand that there should be no other campaign. There should be no other politicking. There should be no other money sharing or rice sharing on the day of election. But that is often not the case. On the day of election, you all can bear witness what is going on. On that same day of election, in the presence of the police, the INEC, the polling agents, and everybody, in the eyes of everybody, you will still see money being shared, people buying votes with money, INEC keeping quiet, police keeping quiet, and at the end of the day, the result is not even announced based on the votes cast by the people. That is the most annoying thing. After all the trouble, after all the suffering, after all the restrictions for people not to move anywhere, because people are not allowed to move. And then sometimes you see ballot paper snatching, you see fighting, you see all kinds of things, sometimes killing of people during an election, on the day of election. On the day of election, people are even killed. And then at the end of the day, the results are announced based on the highest bidder or the candidate that has a godfather in Abuja or even from Abuja. That is the predicament of the Nigerian electoral system. And that is why Nkolo Mahadum is suggesting that the current system being practiced in Nigeria to produce the leaders should be replaced or brought down in order for the people to benefit from the so-called democracy that we are practicing. And before we continue, Nkolo Mahadum is asking you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter and Facebook, like our program, comment, so that we know how we are doing. And again, thank you for joining me. So, but going forward, what we see all the time is how Nigerians, media, the Nigerian leaders, how they talk about other places that have done well in the election. Take, for example, the election that happened in Senegal, a very small country, in March this year. Don't you all see a 44-year-old Basiron Dimaye Faye declared the winner of that election? Will that ever happen in Nigeria? Even though it happened during Goodluck Jonathan. Because Goodluck Jonathan was a peaceful man. According to Jonathan, according to President Ebele Jonathan, he said he doesn't want any blood to be spilled for him to be president. And that's why he did not contest that election. But here in Senegal, this year, this March, on our eyes, we saw how a young opposition leader was declared the winner. And he's the president of Senegal today. How about the one that happened in South Africa? In South Africa, the ANC lost their majority for the first time since the introduction of foreign democratic rule in South Africa. And today, the president of South Africa, Ramaphosa, governs South Africa with a center-left democratic alliance. He is not in coalition because all this time, ANC have been the majority, have taken majority in all the elections. But the one that was held a few weeks ago, ANC lost. If this were Nigeria, how will ANC lose? No, no, no. They will declare Ramaphosa as the president. How about the one that happened in France? In France, the left wing, New Polar Front, won 182 seats, while the party of President Emmanuel Macron won only 163 seats. Can that ever happen in Nigerian electoral system? The answer is no. And then a few days ago in the United Kingdom, Labour Party, the opposition party called Labour Party, won 412 seats to defeat the incumbent, the sitting Conservative Party, who only won 122 votes. And now, Keir Starmer of the Labour Party is now declared the new Prime Minister of United Kingdom, replacing Rishi Sunak. And if you are following what is going on, you can see how Sunak just came out and thanked the people and accepted defeat and then transfer power to the new leader. That is how Africans, Nigerians should be doing their foreign imposed democracy. Because this democracy we are practicing is foreign imposed. It's not our culture. And everything that has been going on in the Nigerian election is showing that the Western democracy is a failure in Africa.